Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, I'm going to talk to you today about You People, aka Fucking Complicated the Musical.
What's the difference between me and you?
A young new couple and their families reckon with modern love amid cultural divides, generational differences, and overall societal expectations. This movie is complicated as fuck, and there's no way around saying that. So first and foremost, this movie is about I don't want to say a clash of cultures, but a difference in cultures. On one side, we have a young, he's 35. Jesus. We have a 35-year-old Jewish man, financier in Jonah Hill, who falls in love with another young professional, Miss Amari. She's a costume designer in Hollywood in LA. These two happen to meet by a chance encounter, with Jonah mistaking her as an Uber driver. They look like twins. He takes her on a date and they fall in love. And it's beautiful. Genuinely, you like this couple. They're cute. But to quote Taylor Swift, life makes love look hard. And man, these families complicate the hell out of this relationship. So Jonah Hill, he plays Ezra, who gets dragged or thrown through the mud or, given a hard time by Akbar, Amari's father, played by Eddie Murphy, who dislikes him because he's Jewish, not Muslim, white, not black, and he just quit his very lucrative financing job to start a career as a podcaster, and I agree with him on only one of those. I'll take your guess. Again, complicated as hell. And on the other side of the coin, we have Amari and Mrs. Shelby, who, although she's nicer about it, there's a lot of offensive misconceptions that Miss Shelby has when it comes to Amari and her culture. She's trying to do well, but she just keeps making shit worse, which sounds actually like what a parent would do, now that I think about it. She makes Amari feel like a token black member of the family, rather than her being her own person. And again, it just complicates things. While Ezra's parents don't disapprove of Amari, they make things complicated by trying to be inclusive, but it just makes shit worse and makes her feel alienated. On the other side, Akbar is actively trying to break Jonah Hill, taking him to I'm going to be very careful with the terminology here. Jonah Hill is wearing a red hoodie, and he takes him to a Crip place where they cut hair. Now, for those of you who are not indoctrinated, Crips and Bloods don't like each other. Red versus blue. Tale as old as time. And he just does that to stress him. He goes to his bachelor party to make sure he has a terrible time. On the other side of the coin, while Miss Shelby is trying to be inclusive, she just keeps making shit worse. And this drives the couple to a point where they really can't coexist. And there's a lot of uncomfortable, ugly conversations that happen in this movie that are funny. This movie is comedic, but also they're tough conversations to have that are at times necessary, Jonah Hill makes a point of saying at one point, I may not know what it's like to be a black person in this country, but I know what an asshole looks like. Poignant words. Very poignant words. That said, fuck it. The only knock... I don't like the fact that Akbar gives Ezra such a hard time. The only knock on the kid is, and it's a major one though, he quits a very well-paying job to start a podcast right after buying a house. That's the only coin I'll give you, mate. Other than that, he loves your daughter. Why not? On the other side of the coin, Mr. Shelby, just treat Amari like a normal fucking human being. You don't have to be so goddamn inclusive all the time. Like, you don't have to treat them like a black member of the family. Just treat them like family. It's not that fucking hard. But that's the whole point of this movie, is having those awkward, weird discussions that, let's be frank, no one wants to have. Also, shout out to Amari. She's an incredibly patient woman, like gritting her teeth. And at one point she even says, because I have to, because if someone else gets mad, they're angry. If I lash out, I'm an angry black woman. That stereotype, that not second class, it's not a fair assessment of the person. Just because of their skin color, if they react in a certain way, all of a sudden they're aggressive or intense. Versus someone else who's having a discussion. There's so many layers about this film to discuss, as far as who's right, who's wrong, heritage versus choice, Also, frankly, how much of a say should your parents have in your marriage? Personally, 0. But that's up to you, kids. That's up to you. I guarantee you at some point, I'm not going to edit this part out. At some point in the future, what I'm saying right now is going to bite me in the ass when I have kids and they say, well, Dad, you said this. This will curse me in the future. I can almost guarantee it. Also, at one point, they have a conversation about who's had it worse, Jewish people or black people. Not going to fucking touch that. Not going to touch that at all. That said, though, the cons. This movie is a lightning rod of a film. It is, I think, a very controversial film. Does it have to be? Not necessarily, but the topics that they discuss are not for the weak of heart or for the wary. This film will spark conversation among people for good or for worse. Put it on at the dinner table, maybe around Thanksgiving, Christmas. Let's see what happens. That said, though, as far as the grade's concerned, it's an A. It's a very interesting film with a lot of different outlook. And it's also a film that does something important where it makes you look at something from the outside. You know, from an outsider's perspective, what does this all look like? Looks like madness to me, but they love each other, make it work. These two kids should be able to love each other and nothing should get in the way of that. That said, though, what did you think of this, frankly, lightning rod of a film? What did you think about it? Go ahead and comment down below. Please also do us a favor, like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. As you know, we try to grow the channel. Also, you can go check out our podcast via the link down below. It's always great, especially when I'm there. That said, I've been Eddie, and this was The Rollback. We'll see everybody.